What's up guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nick DiGiuno. Today we're going to be doing a photo tutorial in Lightroom, and I'm going to show you how to get that background blur subject separation. Some people call it bokeh. Usually you only get this when you're using a fast lens. A fast lens is a lens that you can stop down its aperture to, let's say, like 1.4, 1.8. At that setting, you're going to get a lot of separation between your subject and your background and foreground. So your subject is going to look nice and sharp, your background and foreground are going to be all blurred out, and it's a really nice look. Usually those kinds of lenses are a little bit expensive, and if you don't have that kind of money or you don't have that kind of lens right now, I'm going to show you how to get that look in post, shot at any setting for the most part. So let's hop over into Lightroom and I'll show you how that's done. So the photo that we're going to be editing today is this photo. I already applied the edit. You can see the before and after right here. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see the before, everything for the most part is in focus. I shot this at like f6.3, and after the edit, you can see it has that nice background blur. So I'm going to hop over to this photo. It has the same edit applied, it just doesn't have the background blur, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So you go to the right where your tools are, you go over here and you select radial gradient. Make sure this little circle right here is selected. And all we're going to do is we're going to go over to our subject, in this case it's the car, and we're going to hold down. We're going to drag it out until the subject is covered, and we're going to let go. Now from here, by grabbing the middle, you can move it, resize it by grabbing the little knobs on the end, and we want it to fit to the subject for the most part, leave a little bit of gap in between. So right about there is pretty good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to noise. This is actually noise reduction. We're going to drag that all the way up. Sharpness, we're going to drag all the way down. And you can see that just made our subject really blurry. That's not what we want. We want everything but our subject to be blurry. So the way to fix that is we go over here to invert. We're going to check that, and there you go. Everything around the subject is blurry, and our subject looks pretty nice and in focus. Now the last step for here is we're going to go to feather. Right now it's on like 56, that's actually pretty good. If you don't feather it, it just kind of looks a little bit abrupt to me. So go ahead and mess with that. If you have a little bit of feather, it's going to look like a nice gradient from focus to out of focus. And that's kind of how it would look if you actually shot it on a fast lens. To go a step further, you can add another radial gradient. So let's do the same thing. Drag this out, resize it a little bit. We're going to uncheck invert because this time we actually want to affect the subject. So uncheck that, reset the noise reduction, reset the sharpness, and we're going to drag our sharpness up a little bit and our clarity up just a touch. And that's going to further sharpen our subject, so we're increasing the difference between the subject and the background. So here we go, here's our after. You can see that's a pretty big difference, and to me that looks legit. So if you follow these steps and you're still not getting the background blur you want it a little bit more blurry, but you already kind of maxed out your sharpness and your noise reduction, just go back to the gradient that you applied. So this is the outside one. We're going to right click it and we're just going to click duplicate. And that's going to duplicate that gradient and place it in the exact same spot the original one was. And so you can see already the huge difference that made. So you can continue to duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. And I mean, this just kind of looks ridiculous, but you can keep playing with it. You might notice that I'm editing on a white background in Lightroom. And I do this on purpose because I like to post my pictures to Instagram, which has a white background. And believe it or not, the background that you're editing your picture on is actually going to influence how the edit comes out. So it's going to change the colors, it's going to change the tones a little bit. So what looks good on a black background might look a little bit different on a white background. So to stay consistent, make sure your photos are looking how they look in Lightroom on your Instagram. Make sure you're editing on a white background. You can change this just by right-clicking your background, changing it from dark gray, which is your default, to white. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button, leave a comment, tell me what you think. If you don't like it, let me know, because I think I'm going to start doing a little bit more of these. I want to know what you guys like, what you're into, what you're not into. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.